Growing Big with Steve Bartylla.
I'll tell you what, habitat improvement has really taken off. Heck, when I first started giving seminars 25 years ago, I'd give a seminar on deer hunting, I'd give a seminar on habitat improvement, just simply on putting in a food plot. And I would have, at the same deer show, 2 hours later, I would have twice as many people in my seminar on how to put in a food plot. 5 years ago when I retired from actually giving seminars at deer shows, that had reversed. If I tried to give a seminar on how to plant a food plot, virtually no one would show up because we have come such a far way. We understand that, man, we go ahead and we slap in some trophy clover. We're going to be producing 25-30% protein content food for these deer, and man, are they ever going to love this stuff? They're going to flock to our ground. All that stuff's good and great. But the question really is, where do we start? It's almost always a mistake to just head out to that back corner of that field just because it's nice and tucked away and slap in a food plot. Create an improvement plan before you do anything. Figure out what the deer are doing right now. Figure out what your habitat has to offer, and then create a plan that will get deer to spend a disproportionate amount of time on your property by giving them everything they want. The best food, the best water, the best cover, the best feeling of safety, the best breeding opportunities. You give them all those things better than they can get in the area, and you know what? They're going to spend a disproportionate amount of time on your property. If you have a 20-acre property, does that mean that the deer will never leave? Heck no. They'll go ahead and they'll leave 4,000-acre properties, the ones that dwell along the edges. But the more time we can get them to spend on our property, the better off we are. The more we can control what gets shot, the more we can have the opportunity to shoot what we want to shoot. Okay, so come up with that plan. Figure out what the deer are doing, how they're doing it, what the topography and the habitat have to offer, and then put in a serious amount of time planning things out. It always works best when you put where the deer are bedding on steroids instead of trying to get them to bed somewhere else. It's always best when your sidewalks follow existing deer trails. You want deer to use your sidewalk? You go ahead and you connect point A that they already are to point B where they want to go, put it down a trail where they're going to be traveling anyway. They're going to use their sidewalk. At the same time, you're massively increasing the amount of browse, you're creating screens, all that good stuff. Okay, put your food in areas you can get in and out of safely, and also offer a safe wind direction or a location that you can cut them off, traveling between bedding and feeding safely, getting in, getting out without being disturbed. We can use blockades to enhance funnels. We can use blockades to create funnels and create screenings. We can use sidewalks to massively amp the amount of browse a property offers, along with encouraging deer to travel down this corridor. We can use hinge cut bedding areas to encourage even more bedding in these areas, along with increasing browse. We can use spruce plantations for thermal cover. We can use native grasses for bedding. We can plant shrubs. We can do all sorts of things, but start with a plan. Plan this stuff out. You are absolutely, positively never going to do the best job on your property by going out there and winging it. Come up with a plan. Have that plan work towards your goals, and you're going to be better off. Then when it comes to what should I do first, figure out what the low point is for what deer have. Is it cover? Is it food? Is it water? Is it a feeling of safety? Now, if it's a feeling of safety, the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to design our property to minimize the amount of pressure. Okay. If it's food, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go out there and we're going to offer fall food sources. If we're trying to raise deer as much as hunt them, we're also going to make sure that we have ample over winter, spring, and summer nutrition as well. Okay, if it's water, we'll add water. Now, if it's social pressure, we'll go ahead and we'll divide up that property with our sidewalks to create these visual barriers to reduce social pressure while amping up the food. Okay, what I'm saying is what you start on is the very thing that you need the most. And then you start working on the second thing you need the most, then the third, then the fourth. You work your way down the line. Everything does not have to be done this year. As a matter of fact, when I'm doing plans for clients, I do go on a 5-year plan. I try to lay it out. So, you know what? You got 5 years, go ahead, do it. When I'm managing client properties, I am planning on 5 years. A 5-year process to get that ground and get the deer population where we want it. It doesn't all have to be done today, but what needs to be done before you do anything is come up with a plan. That is one of the biggest keys there is to success.
Growing Big is brought to you by Wildlife Research Center, the gold standard. Reconics, see what you've been missing. Antler King, bigger bucks, healthier deer. The Heater Bodysuit, you stay warm or your money back. Furminator, the best food plot implement on earth. Bush Hog, performance you can count on. Redneck Blinds, the best hunting blinds on the planet. Chestnut Hill Nursery and Orchards. And foodplotsfordeer.com, planning your habitat improvements and improving your hunting.
There are all sorts of things that we can do to improve our deer property. Now, we want deer to spend a disproportionate amount of time on our habitat. That accomplishes two things. It makes it so it's easier for us to kill them and easier for us to manage. Now, take out the deer we want to take out and give the deer we want another pass if we so choose. Okay. Offer the best in nutrition, water, safety, comfort, breeding opportunities, and you are going to have deer spending a disproportionate amount of time on your property. Where do you begin? You begin with what you need the worst on that ground. You work from there. Remember, it's not a race to get it done. The mission is to get it done right. And if it takes 5, 6, 7 years to do so, no problem. Just remember to have fun, because having fun is the whole point of all this stuff.
Growing Big with Steve Bartylla.